Okay, is this a natural number? -8. No, it's not. Is it a whole number? Is it an integer? Yes, and so if it's an integer, it is also irrational. Okay, as soon as we say yes, everything above it is a yes. So, on our list, and yes, you have to write these out, okay? This one is an integer, and it's also rational. Okay, I will tell you, if you write one down and not the other one, I'll give you a point for one, but not the other one, okay? I think that's the fairest way. Okay, 150. Okay, 150. Is it a natural?
Yes.
No. Is it a whole? No. Is it an integer? No. Is it rational? Yes. Why is it rational? Yeah, so it has a decimal, and you can look at it like $1.50 if you wanted to, okay? You could put a dollar sign in here, $1.50. Anything to do with money is going to be rational, okay? Anything that has a terminating decimal, which means after the zero it stops, right? We don't say $1.50.222, okay? What type of number? Zero. Okay, our number is 0. Is it natural? No. Is it whole?
Yeah.
Yes. So then what else is it?
Integer and rational.
It's integer and rational. So we said yes right here at whole, which means yes, everything above it also goes on the list. So yes, it's an integer. Yes, it's rational. Okay, the next section says write each as an algebraic expression. What is an algebraic expression? What should your answer look like? Okay, and so this is why I said when you get to this section on a test, okay, maybe some, if you wrote them down for the other day, that's fine, but it should look like a math problem, okay? It should not be a single number for an answer. Okay, it should look like a math problem. So, the quotient of a number and 3. Okay, what does quotient mean? It means divide. Okay, so we know it should be division of something. What is a number? What does that mean, a number? A variable. So we can use any letter, okay? So you got x and divide by 3. Okay, or we can say x over 3. Either one of those works. But we don't solve anything on these, okay? So, and this one's not bad because it says a number, but when it says like 3 plus 3, all you guys, it's in your innate ability, you want to write 6, and you cannot do that, okay? So, either one of these works. Anytime it says a number, that means a variable. You could use x, you could use s, a, it does not matter. 8 squared.
8 times 8.
You could say 8 times 8. What else could you write? Where do you see squared? What does it normally look like? That's a square root. Okay, it looks like squared. Okay, that could also work. Either one of those are fine. Okay, write each as a verbal expression. What does it mean, a verbal expression? What's verbal mean? Words. Okay, verbal means words. Okay, or you could say how you would say it. Okay, how would you say it? 80 divided by 8. So you say 80 divided by 8. Okay, I don't care if you write like the 8 and the 80 down. Well, not you have to write them down, but I don't need you to spell them out. Okay, but the divided by, that's a key word. Okay, and if you can't think of a word, there are a ton over here. Okay, so you can say a quotient, whatever word works for you. Can I scroll? Next page. Okay, how do we say 13?
10 minus 7.
10 minus 7, that's totally fine. 10 minus 7. All right, and there are tons of other words you could use. Say subtracted, okay, take away, any of those work, okay? I know, same thing, some of you guys are gonna be tempted to write 3, right? Don't do it. Okay, evaluate using the variables given. So evaluate means you should have a number for an answer. Okay, and that's the big key word between the expression and evaluate. Okay, evaluate means you should have an actual number for an answer. So we start off with z, and what is my z? -4 minus parentheses z, so I said -4 minus x, which is 4, and close it. And we already learned from the other day that you can type all these in. If you want to do the order of operations in your head, that's totally fine. I would double check it on the calculator. Okay? So take a second and type all that in your calculator and see what you get. 4. I think it's right. -8. Yeah. Okay, so 4. The one critique I had from the other day, and quite a few of you guys, I would say about half of you guys did it, was when there's already let me find a spot. It's really not on here, but if this, and I'm going to put it in red, okay, if this x was -4, that negative comes from this one. There's should also have a negative right there. Okay, it should say minus minus, which would make it a positive, and that would change everything. Okay, so make sure that if you're working with a lot of negatives, that you take the time to make sure that it's right on the calculator. Okay, or written down right. You do not need to show all your steps, but I will say the more steps you show, if you still happen to get it wrong, I can give you partial points there, okay? But if you only have 4 and nothing else is written down, there's really not much discrepancy to say, oh, they got the gist of it, okay, when I'm grading your quiz. If you have this down, then I can say, well, they wrote it all out right. Somehow they got it wrong on the calculator, okay? So I can give you a lot more partial points, which is no big deal. 17, I got x, what's my x? -5, parenthesis, and then I got another x, so it should be -5 minus, and then I got a z, which is 1, and close a parenthesis. And then plus my z is 1. Okay, type that all in your calculator and see what you get. 25? Somebody agree? No. I don't think that's right. 31 sounds right. Maybe 31 or 29? Okay. Okay, so check, see if you missed a parenthesis or something on your calculator if you did not get that. Okay? Or a negative somewhere, but it should be positive 31. Could I scroll? Okay, 19. Evaluate. What's evaluate mean? Yeah, you should have a number for an answer, okay? So, same thing, you can just type these on a calculator. And you're going to need to because it's fractions, okay? What type of fraction is this? It's a proper or regular fraction, okay? The smaller number is on top and there's a bigger number on bottom. Okay, so take a second and type that fraction in. That's right. So, if I gave you a problem with a fraction, what kind of answer should you have? A fraction. Okay, what'd you get? I know some of you guys got it, so.
-15.
Over what?
8.
8. Good. Okay? Today and tomorrow, the only days that you get to practice on those calculators. So if you don't know how to type in fractions or do that decimal to fraction conversion, make sure that you take some time to ask me today. Why is a decimal not appropriate for an answer?
Because it's not a decimal problem.
It is not a decimal problem, which means you cannot give me a decimal as an answer. If you give me a decimal as an answer, even if the conversion is right, it's still wrong, okay? You need to make sure you give me a fraction. Look at 21. Type those decimals in your calculator, see what you get. What did you get for 21? -1. Is that an appropriate answer? It is. So, the only exception, so you would think like you would need a decimal, but if there's no decimal there, then you can't give me a decimal. Okay, so that one's totally fine.